What's going on, guys? Welcome to. Oh, you can't hear me. There we go. Wonderful start to the new year. Welcome to Just Geeking. Now, we're talking geek. I'm here. It's a Sunday. We go over all the geek news, show off our pickups, just geek out on this wonderful first Sunday of the new year. Chris may be able to jump in. He may be not. He has some family things, birthdays he's celebrating. So he may jump in. But if not, we're going to keep the ball rolling. Um, See who trickles in today and geeks out with me. But I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Mine was great. Mine was great. Didn't get many geeky gifts, but that's okay because I got me a wonderful watch and I got to see my son just open up all the toys. Brought me back to being a kid. That being said, I actually do have a bunch of toys over here, and I am not going into the new year. Well, I'm already in the new year, but I don't want to continue into the new year with toys that have not been opened yet. So I'm going to open up these toys as we talk some geeky stuff. So first up, make sure you check out my unboxing, man. I finally opened this guy up, and I just did a top 10 figures of 2025. So make sure you check that out. It's a lot of fun, and this guy is definitely he's number 3 on the list. Spoiler alert. This is that Gong Studios Pop Mart Hush Batman, and I'm gonna do verses between him and the Mayfex. So stay tuned. Austin C, what's going on, man? Happy New Year. Yo, you were right about this figure. This figure is fire, but the belt is absolutely terrible. Belt is terrible. Like it's almost a 10 out of 10. These little hip joint weird things, which I feel like will be worked out when they make more figures. But this belt is crazy. Um, yeah, it just needed to be tighter. Or cloth goods, but still a solid freaking figure, man. So what am I gonna open up first while I talk to y'all? I'm gonna open up this guy. This guy. Um, so I started watching Fallout today. Um, cool show, man. Cool show. Yeah, you put me onto it. Like I don't get it. I don't get why the belt is that way, but everything else makes up for it, man. Like this head sculpt is crazy, and the kind of leather on the cape. Now I will agree, the Chaos Studios Dark Knight Returns Batman is just from the pictures, it's a significant. It's a better figure for sure. I prefer more modern day or hush style Batman than that Batman, but it's a better figure for sure. Um, what are you gonna do? Put me on. How are you gonna change it out? I want to know. Open up Peacemaker. So these are toys that I just did not have time to do unboxings for, and now it'll just be way too late. So I'm just opening them up right now. But like yeah, help me out here. What belt are you gonna use? But started watching Fallout season 2, I should say, and I like it so far. Think about these streamers, right? Like they don't come out every year. See, you can tell that I'm old. You see that gray. We're used to TV shows coming out every year. New season in the fall or late fall. But with these streamers, we're going like a couple years, sometimes more. I think Fallout's case, has it been 2 years? I can't remember. But so you wind up forgetting everything that happened in season 1. Which kind of happened for me. So they had a robust recap, which was necessary. And I'm still a little confused, but I don't want to go back and watch more of season 1 just to watch season 2. So just kind of rediscovering it as I'm going. Eagly! This is pretty cool. Yeah, McFarlane is starting to close up shop, right? I mean, he still has till July, but you know, he's giving us some deep cuts. with his figures. We have what is it? Professor Pig, which is a deep cut. But a lot of the figures are straight up just repaints. Not a lot of new sculpting, with the exception of some deluxe figures. So you can kind of feel like it's starting to wind down a bit, which is it is what it is. Are there any McFarlane figures that you wish they would come out with before they shut up shop? I wish they did like a secret identity line. Like we get a Clark Kent figure and a Bruce Wayne figure and a Diana Prince figure and a Dick Grayson figure. The thing about DC is they do have so many characters with secret identities. Oliver Queen. That would be kind of cool. But check this out. We have freaking Peacemaker, and he's a deluxe figure, so he does come with his freaking Desert Eagle right there, kicking Justice in the face. And fits well. I like the series a lot. And then you have his different helmets. It's a pretty cool guy, pretty cool figure. Also, bro, I just got the InArt Batman Dark Knight figure, and oh my god, I was so impressed after watching your review once I got it in hand. Yo, it's fire! Like honestly, for a long time, I thought he was going to be figure of the year. I thought he was going to be figure of the year. I mean, that Christian Bale head sculpt. This figure is perfect. It's nearly perfect. I don't have any complaints, and you can get an accessory pack if you want to get a wired cape and some other things. But the figure is nearly perfect. I just love I'll show you my top 3 toys. Well, Austin, see, you saw my top 10. But for those of you watching, I'll show you my top 3 pretty soon. As far as the Gong Cedos Hush Batman figure, I'm going to use the Mezco Ben Affleck BVS Batman figure. Wow, okay. Hey, do you have the Mezco Robin by any chance? The Dick Grayson Robin? I'm curious how that would stand with this guy. I would love to have a cloth goods Robin, and I just wonder, stylistically. I know scale-wise they should be okay, and although this is a Hush kind of modern figure, Batman's costume doesn't change too much. So that Robin, even though he's bright, should stand pretty cool with him, but I'm curious before I spend the money on a Mezco Robin figure. So anybody out there who has a Mezco Robin figure and a Gone Studios Hush Batman figure, let me know how they scale together. I would love it. So I also finished Welcome to Deary, which is a good show, man. That's a good freaking show. A lot of people are comparing it to Stranger Things, saying that it's what it did what Stranger Things missed, and I'm like, guys, come on. Stranger Things had 5 seasons over the course of 10 years. Welcome to Deary had 1 season. So most shows are fire. If a good show's good, it's fire in its first season. We got to see how it keeps going. Cheers. But I did enjoy Welcome to Deary. I enjoy all those kind of Goonies, Stand By Me, Stranger Things. It like a bunch of kids on an adventure. I'm an 80s baby, so for me, it reminds me of like what I thought I was getting into. Guy Gardner. What I thought I was getting into. I'm killing time to see if Chris joins me, but I'm gonna start getting into some Stranger Things talk. But first, we have some trailers. Let me share my screen. Bear with me. Okay. Yeah, we had a trailer drop this week, as well as a teaser. Why is it not coming up? I promise you guys I've done this before. Here we go. So, yo, we got that Avengers Doomsday Thor teaser. Now, a couple weeks ago, we saw the Steve Rogers teaser, which was kind of like a lot of controversy around it because apparently it was leaked, but maybe it wasn't leaked or leaked on purpose. Then it wound up being shown, I guess, in the Avatar. I have not seen Avatar yet. How crazy is that? Can't talk about that. But it was shown during the Avatar, uh, previews. And I wasn't too crazy about the Steve Rogers thing because that's kind of one of the characters I wished. I'm saying this without seeing Avengers Doomsday, but I feel like he's one of the characters that should stay gone for a long time. His story was so completed. Seeing him have a happy ending and seeing him older, and we just had a whole summer where we saw the baton was passed to, Sam Wilson. He's our Captain America. So to bring Steve Rogers back, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We have Robert Downey. We have a lot of people coming back that should kind of be retired, even if they're not playing the same role. And I feel like it's undoing the impact of Endgame by bringing all these characters back. Um, or just, I guess it's too hard to sit on a secret, but if Steve Rogers was coming back, and of course I haven't seen the movie, it would have been dope if he comes back and we didn't know, you know. Uh, I don't have them as co-Robin, but I did see someone scale them together online, and I was like, okay, they look really good together. Who? Can you tell me who? Because I've been trying to find pictures, man. Now that Thor trailer leak, I love it. Yo, I mean, yeah, it's honest. I'm not feeling Sam as Captain America. I don't dislike him as Captain America. I just didn't care for the movie. But I wouldn't mind. I'd like to see him. They made him Captain America, so it's like, well, then commit to it. He's our Captain America. The time was passed, you know. Um, I didn't care for Captain America: Brave New World, um, but I would still like to see him be our Captain America, especially with the Russo brothers directing him. And we probably will. He's going to be Captain America in this film as well, I'm sure. But this Thor teaser was so powerful, man, and it just brings that gravitas back to Thor. It brings that because Thor: Love and Thunder, as well as Thor Ragnarok, had that levity and comedy, which was great. Taiko is a great director, man. And Thor: Love and Thunder was a comedy, and it was hard. And I know a lot of people didn't feel it, but it did what it was trying to do. But I do love that the Russos are bringing the gravitas back to Thor. Like that weight. He is a freaking king. So I love it. Just this image right here lets us know. But my issue also, not an issue, but my concern is with the low cut hair. And there's an image where you see the scar over his eye, which I don't think was there in Thor: Love and Thunder. I have to double check. This is feeling more and more like an Endgame sequel, and I say that, but without seeing a single trailer, a real trailer for this film. But I guess my concern is that it's going to be more of exactly. Thor needs to be. Yeah, I think he does. But what I don't want it to be is an Endgame, see a sequel to Endgame. I don't want it to pretend like we didn't have like 5 years and 30 projects between Endgame and Doomsday, right? I don't want it to pretend like we went through so many Marvel series and there was a Thor: Love and Thunder and there was a Loki series. I don't want to pretend there was a Deadpool and Wolverine. We have a lot of stuff in between Endgame and Doomsday, and I don't want Doomsday to just pretend like 30 of these projects just didn't exist. Um, but I will definitely not go too crazy over it until I see it. I'm definitely excited for it. This Thor teaser got me really excited, actually. Um, Austin, I see that you're excited. The new T'Challa. Well, I'm interested too because what's the timeline here? Because last time we saw him, he was what, 9? So, which was like 2021, right? So we can age him up to maybe 15, 16. I am curious. Well, the timeline is very interesting because we also, what they do with him in his age also let us know how long Peter Parker has been in his new role as Spider-Man, right? How many years has it been since Wakanda Forever and Spider-Man No Way Home? I'm very curious. Um, yes, sir. Uh, but we also got a Wonder Man trailer, a second trailer of Wonder Man. And the first one, I was like, okay, it's a guy trying to be an actor, and I'm sorry, but the part of Iron Man 3 most of us did not care for was the reveal that the Mandarin was just an actor. Uh, so when I saw the first trailer for Wonder Man, I was like, okay, I love the actors. I'm curious, but I'm not super excited. But then the next trailer, I have to say, has got me pretty excited. Has got me pretty excited because we've never delved into, and this is on like most of superhero media, a guy with superpowers who wants nothing to do with it, and not in a I tried to be a superhero and it didn't work out, so I'm just giving up my mantle. No, he was born with superpowers, but like he has other dreams and desires that aren't being a superhero. He wants to be an actor. He wants to be a working actor. He wants to be a movie star. Those are his dreams, probably since he was a kid. And he just so happens to have these powers, but he doesn't want the powers. Like he wants to follow his dreams, and his powers may get in the way. I actually like that part. Oh no, I'm not feeling the Wonder Man. I just don't find him interesting as a character. Where's his muscles? Well, where's Robert Downey Jr.'s muscles? No, this guy has muscles. This guy, the actor that plays him, he's pretty jacked, right? He's freaking Black Manta. He's got muscle, but also he's not trying to be a superhero, right? He's trying to be an actor. No, I think this actor's physically fit. This actor's fit. I think. Just opened up the Guy Gardner right here. Let's see. Let's open up toys, having a chat. I have the Yellow Lantern one, and this has just been sitting in a box. I'll probably go for the bowl cut. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, I like that take of this guy who's born with superpowers, but has other dreams and aspirations that have nothing to do with his superpowers. And yeah, we just haven't seen that before. So that part just got me really interested, really, really interested. Um, Other news, so Ryan Coogler sat down and talked about what his Black Panther script would have been had not Chadwick Boseman passed away, rest in peace. And I knew of this story a little bit before, but he gave more clarity. So are you okay with some character swaps in general? I am. I am. I am. I think not if it changes. I don't think comic books or cartoons are going away. So the characters you love and the way you love would like them to look, that's not going anywhere. So they're not being replaced. Now, I don't necessarily want like a race or gender swap if it changes the fundamentals of the character. You know, in my opinion, I don't think Batman should be black. I think that Bruce Wayne, being a white man, part of the 1 percentile, family, been rich for generations, generational wealth, is very important to his core values of a character. You know, the fact that he is the elite and chooses almost not to be is very important to his character. Um, Whereas Peter Parker this kid from Queens who's intelligent, who lost his parents, who is kind of dealing with poverty and trying to help his aunt, and they can never like make rent, and those are just universal kind of values. Um, Also, Spider-Man wears a full mask, so if they made Spider-Man black or Puerto Rican or Dominican or Asian, I don't think that changes the character of Peter Parker the same way, making Bruce Wayne anything else other than white. I think that changes the root of his character. I think Superman should be. I understand your perspective, since and honestly, it's not even that I'm an actor. It's just my opinion, and someone can have a difference of opinion. That'd be fine. But I think like Superman in the world we're in today has to be a white man. I think people need to look at him. The majority of people, the ruling majority of the people in this country specifically, when they see a man that powerful and be at ease, they need to see somewhat themselves in what they think he represents. And I think if Superman were black or Spanish or Asian in America, I think that would kind of change the story a little bit and how the world responds to him universally. Um, so yeah, but if we're talking about Perry White being black, or Commissioner Gordon being black, or Wonder Man, I don't know too much about Wonder Man in the comics, to be honest with you. So I can't tell you if that changes his character or not. I do think Tony Stark should be a white man. I do. I think just the lineage of being a Stark and the money, like yeah, like that as far as right now, yeah. So that's just my opinion. But I understand people wanting to see a true to life depiction of the character on the page on the screen, and I think there's room for that, and I think there's room to play around with it. In my opinion, I don't think anyone's going to argue that when the Ultimate Universe made Nick Fury black, like we like that because that gave us Sam Jackson. Um, so anyway, that's my little soapbox. But the T'Challa. So this is what Ryan Coogler had to say. Ooh, let me pull it up. Should be prepared. I am prepared. I promise. I am prepared. I promise. Okay. So he wrote like a 180-page draft. Basically, after post blip, right? Um, basically, the big thing about the script was that it was this thing called the Ritual of Eight, where when a prince is 8 years old, he has to go spend 8 days in the bush with his father. Among those 8 days, they have to go into the bush without any tools. The prince has to listen and do everything that's asked of him by his father. But the rule is, for those 8 days, the prince can ask the father any question, and the father has to answer. During the course of those 8 days, Namor launches an attack. So that was what the movie was. He had to deal with somebody, and it was a different version of Namor in that script. But he had to deal with someone who was likely insanely dangerous. But because of the ritual, his son had to be joined at his hip the whole time. So while he's engaging in negotiations um, and fights, his son is right there, or else they'd violate this ritual, which had never been broken. Um, which is so it kind of like continues the narrative from Captain America: Civil War, of this father-son narrative that went into Black Panther, and then it's T'Challa being his father, being a father with his son, maybe even trying to do things differently. There's a lot of things his father hid from him, right? The existence of Killmonger, and then I can see T'Challa want to do things different. So that was the original idea, which I thought would be brilliant. And of course, they went with the choice that they had to, which was T'Challa passes away because Chadwick Boseman passed away, unfortunately. And I know there's a lot of online chatter saying they could have recast T'Challa, and I think either way, it would have been met with a lot of issue. And Ryan Coogler and the cast and crew and Marvel and Kevin Feige, it was a very personal film. and Chadwick was a friend to a lot of them. And they handled it the way they were. They handled it through their art the way they chose to. And we can't take anything away from them in regards to that. But we know T'Challa is a trillionaire. He's much bigger than a Stark. Yeah, but so same thing with but T'Challa, very similar to I think Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark. His money is rooted in who he is as a character. So Bruce Wayne comes from old money, 1% in America. Tony Stark, in a similar way, in industry, his father was an inventor at a time where being a white male was helped you in that space. Same thing with T'Challa, but different. He comes from Africa, Wakanda, you know, a place that's unknown to the rest of the world. In Africa, as an African, so him being black is super important to his character. If he's anything but black, anything but African, as we see him, it would change the core character and change the story a bit. So I know when people see race swap things, they say, "Oh, well, let's cast Ryan Gosling as Black Panther," and I'm like, "You could, but you would fundamentally change the entire story. And if that's what you want to do, cool. But you would fundamentally change everything." Like Icon in DC Comics, right? He came to Earth as this alien, kind of shape shifted into this black man during slavery. So his experience is very specific. And if you make him a different color, you change the story. So I'm okay with race swaps as long as it, or gender swaps as well, if it doesn't change the story. You know, I think as at this point having a black Jimmy Olsen doesn't change the dynamics of Jimmy Olsen. Um, I don't think having a at this point in time a black Matt Murdock doesn't change necessarily the dynamics of his character. Um, I'm not saying he should be black. I'm saying I don't think it changes the core of who he is as a person. Some characters race does, and some other characters race and gender doesn't as much. Um, but yeah. But what a wonderful story that would have been, and I really appreciate Ryan Coogler for even sharing what could have been. He didn't have to. He could have kept that to himself. Um, yeah, man. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Next up, yo, let's talk about that Stranger Things. Yo, if you haven't watched it, I'm about to spoil it. So be warned. I'm gonna take a sip of Coke, and you can decide if you want to get out of here or not. Okay. Oh no. Well, I wish I can find that Hush Batman figure clip. All I tell you is either they look good as some video shorts review or sped up reviews. Yeah, I'm gonna keep looking. I think they look good. I think the cloth goods have to look good together. I just wonder if the head sculpt is too like golden or silver age cartoony. I know the head sculpt is probably going to be a massive difference between that and this Batman Hush figure, but I wonder if it's not that big of a difference, or is it jarring, like completely two different pieces of artwork, like they don't even look good together. I don't know. I might just get it anyway because why not? But Stranger Things, I'm not going to do an intense review here. There's so many people online that are giving crazy deep dives, and I haven't had the chance to go into all of it. But I will say, I thought the Stranger Things finale was spectacular, as well as head scratching. I thought the last hour, the epilogue after the events of the fight, was brilliant. Was brilliant. It's really good. It's so good. And you know, some seasons are stronger than others. And it's 5 seasons over the course of 10 years. So these kids grow up. It's like, how are y'all still in high school? It's really good. I highly recommend it, especially season one. Season one is just brilliant. Um, season four is really good as well. I mean, you know, you're not going to be upset. I don't think. I mean, it's literally what we wished happened when we were kids. When we got on our bikes with our friends and kind of rode off, and we just wished we got into this like Goonies like adventure. That's what it is. It's like the Goonies meets Stephen King's It meets E.T. meets all those like fun things we wish we got into as kids. I highly recommend it. And I'm going to spoil it right now, Austin C. So you might want to mute me. Where would I start with? I assume, yeah, season one for sure, for sure. And that's when the actors are literally children. Um, and spoiler alert, it kind of starts with them playing like a D&D campaign. Like they're us. They're us as kids. I'm gonna spoil it. Austin C, go away for like 10 minutes. Go away. I'm about to spoil it. Um, the epilogue I thought was beautiful. Beautiful. And I know, yeah, go away. Go away. Don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil it before you see it. Go away. Come back in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Um, I know there's a lot of issues online with. I know there's a lot of issues online with like no one of consequence dying, and I knew I had a feeling no one was going to die. I did because no one died up until that point. The thing about Game of Thrones, thing about The Walking Dead, is they killed important characters from the beginning to let you know in this world no one is safe. Like they let you know. And the Duffer Brothers have went on to show us that our main core characters were not that show that kills them off. Right? The Goonies don't die. The kids from Stand By Me all made it home. So it kind of follows with that 80s nostalgia kids on an adventure story. So I'm not mad that they didn't die. And I think the ending was beautiful. It's everything I want in an ending. I know we get Game of Thrones and Sopranos and these twist endings. And I'm like, guys, just give us what we want. We want to see these kids survive. We want to see them go on with their lives. And that's why I think 11 is alive for sure. At the end when she stays behind in the Upside Down. I mean, this you probably seen all the theories. How can she use her powers when those freaking frequency emitters are going on? Every time she goes and uses her powers to go into that, telepathic place, her nose bleeds. And you have to imagine she's standing in the middle of a collapsing upside down, using her powers to connect with Mike one last time. That would probably have to use an intense amount of power. Her nose bled from like using her powers to lift up heavy pieces of metal. Turning a truck over, her nose bled. Her nose didn't bleed there. Um, so it's safe to say I think she is alive, and I think at the end when you see her walking and she sees the waterfalls, she only sees two. Mike's fantasy there was three. So if it was just Mike's fantasy, there should have been three waterfalls, in my opinion. Um, no, but there's two. And he doesn't even mention the waterfalls. Like, we just get to see where 11 went. Uh, and Hopper was really at peace. And I know the whole thing of like being able to let her go, the way he couldn't let his actual daughter go, and seeing him at peace is kind of a full circle moment. But what if he's at peace because he knows? Because he knows that Callie survived the gunshot wound. He knows that Callie's alive. And he knows the plan. He knows the plan, especially after the speech he had with her about not letting her, you know, unalive herself. Like, what if he's in on the plan? That 11 knew she couldn't do that to him. He knew that he couldn't lose another daughter. So he knows of the plan and is going to be there for the boys as they mourn her. But she told Mike in their telepathic, space where she's like, you'll understand one day. One day you'll understand and you'll tell them. And 18 months later, he did understand. He told them. So going with this never-ending story, Goonies style of storytelling, there is no way they killed 11. None. And that's what makes this ending freaking sweet. Sweet as pie. Now, I had a lot of issues with the first hour. Not the battle, but I don't mind these characters surviving, obviously, but they put them in such intense, unsurvivable circumstances. My thing is, don't put them in those circumstances. But they're fighting against the freaking mind flare thing, and no one gets a scratch. Like, the Avengers had a hard time fighting Thanos than they did fighting a giant monster in a dimension that they don't even know the terrain. Where were the demigorgons? Where were the demidogs? Where were the demibats? And I know the theories are they were all being used to create the body of the mind flare, but that's a cop out. This thing should have been, there should have been freaking demigorgons and bad. This thing should have been a nightmare. I was more afraid in season 4 with just Vecna and then Eddie in the Upside Down. Like, the stakes were so high. Here, I didn't really for a second think that they were going to be hurt, let alone die. And I don't want them to die, but I should feel like that the stakes are that high. I didn't. The only time I felt the stakes were that high is when Steve almost fell off the tower. I gasped. That's what I think we needed more of. And the fact that they were able to be in Dimension X, fighting that giant monster with freaking stick. I feel like Nancy was the only one with a real gun. A couple of them had guns, but like guns against that thing. So that was kind of not a letdown. I think what happened was great. I just think it was very anticlimactic. It was too easy, way too easy. I mean, the Ghostbusters had a hard enough time at the end of Ghostbusters. I have a hard enough time getting work done if I don't have coffee. I felt like, yeah, it was anticlimactic because no one felt like they were in grave danger, which is unfortunate. And I know there's a lot of stuff around Volume 2 and Will coming out, and I don't have an issue with him coming out. My main issue about Will, and in my opinion, is that he, as a character, he was kind of not as fleshed out as the other ones. Because in season 1, he goes missing. The whole thing's about finding Will. He's not really there. In the later seasons, he's possessed. So we don't spend as much time with him as we do Eleven, Mike, and Lucas, and Dustin. Even Steve. Steve has much more of a character arc than Will does. So in the midst of the world ending, we're gonna pause the plot. Not pause the plot. This is part of the plot, but we take a break and we release the urgency so Will can get the thing off his chest that's holding him back. It's with a character that I don't think we're that invested in. We're only invested in them because they're telling us to be. But we didn't grow up with Will the same way we grew up with Mike and Dustin and Lucas, in my opinion. So I felt him coming out was great. Max and Holly escaping Vecna's mind was great. It's just the pacing was all off. Those moments, like, just all the stakes just all the urgency kind of just fell away. So I don't know if that's a directing thing. I don't think it's an acting thing. I think it's just a structural pacing thing. Once we get to a point where the world is ending, you got to really earn it to slow it down. And I don't know. I don't think they did for most people, and they didn't for me. And I don't know how they could have done it any other way. I don't. But that's the part. It's just the urgency kind of falling out. Not him coming out, but the urgency of like, yo, we're about to die here. We got to do this tower thing. Hold on, everybody. Let me talk to you for 10 minutes. It's like, just feel the energy go. Anyway, but I really enjoyed it, man. It's volume 1. Okay, this is like a couple moments in Stranger Things that live forever. Rowdy Riles, what's going on? Howdy. I'm talking Stranger Things. So if you haven't seen it, I'm almost done though. How you doing? Happy New Year. We're talking geek stuff. There's 2 moments in Stranger Things that stick out to me as like epic moments. Of course, we all know Max running on that hill. Like, when she's running out of Vecna's lair in season 4 is just freaking fire and the boys are around her. Her body's floating in the air. We cut to, Vecna's lair in Dimension X or wherever that is. And she runs out of the portal. Freaking brilliant, epic TV moment, Stranger Things moment. And then Volume 1, Season 5, man, when them Debbie Gorgons was about to tear through Lucas, tear through Mike, tear through Joyce, and then freaking Will, yo, his eyes white. That, yo, goosebumps. Goosebumps. And that's my critique. I didn't get those goosebumps later in the series. Like that, there's no moment in season 5 that is stronger than that moment in volume 1. And I needed the ante to be upped. I needed to be upped. Because Will saving 11 at the end was great. But we knew he can do that. We're kind of waiting for him to do it. So there was no moment where like, but that volume 1, when Will was like, freaking sick. So I think Stranger Things did an amazing job. I think there was some pace issues in the finale. I think the final boss fight was anticlimactic, but just from a story perspective, chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss. Okay, Austin C, you can unmute. So Austin C muted himself. So I didn't spoil Stranger Things. You can unmute. You're good to come back. You're good. I'm done. You can hear this. I give Stranger Things a solid, man, it's a solid like 9 out of 10, man. 8.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's a good freaking show. It's a good freaking show and ends well. That's all I'll say. I'm done. I did pick some other stuff up though. Let me end my. I did pick some other stuff up. I didn't get to unbox everything. I was gonna try to unbox all these things while I'm sitting here, but I'm just about done with the show. I don't want to go into 2026 with toys still in boxes, but I did pick up this guy. I wanted this guy for a while. He went on sale, so I had to get it. But right now I want to talk about the top 3 things of this year that I enjoyed the most content-wise. Top 3 things I enjoyed the most content-wise. And please, Rowdy Riles, Austin C, tell me what are the top 3 things you enjoyed content-wise, and let me know in the chat as well. Of course, this is going to probably be controversial with Austin C. James Gunn's Superman. That's like my top 3 content things I really enjoyed this year. For sure. Yeah, I got that freaking... Woo! One of the worst Batman film of all time. But it was really bad because they made it one big toy commercial. But since they made it one big toy commercial, the toys are freaking fire. This is sick. I gotta put the fins on. I won't do that now. But look at this comparison. Part of the same, not incredibly different, but looked really great together on a shelf, in my opinion. I love our conversation. Well, yeah, so James Gunn's Superman is one of my top things this year. My second thing of top 3 experiences this year I had with media would be Stranger Things, man. I know it ended January 1st, but I look at that as a 2025 drop. Stranger Things. And number 3 would have to be, it's been kind of a slower year. I enjoyed Peacemaker. So I say Peacemaker, Superman, and Stranger Things are my top 3 things. And I got more Batmobiles, man. I got the Tumbler, and of course the '66 Batmobile. I don't think I'm gonna get the Batman v Superman one when it drops. I don't have space for it. I don't have space for this one. Top 3 pickups of the year. Austin C, you kind of know this, but this is number 3. This is number 3, and then number 2. Yo, honestly, this was about to be number 1. Number 2, that Muff Toys Clark Kent. How sick is this figure? And then my number 1 pickup of 2025 is my very first Hot Toys figure, which is this David Corn Sweat. It's freaking beautiful. Freaking beautiful. And here's an honorable mention. And the reason why he's an honorable mention is because technically, although I picked him up, he didn't come out in 2025. That's why I say he's an honorable mention. But this Henry Cavill figure from InArt, and I have them both standing next to each other on the desk. Why? Because I believe James Gunn fans and Snyder fans can all get along. Bro, you know the McFarlane Batmobile Tumblr is going for $200. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. And I think there's other Batmobiles. And then they might be more for 6-inch figures. But there's some other, oh my bad, I thought you said Batman Superman. The Tumblr is going for $200? I gotta say, this is actually pretty great. This is fantastic. And it's not even like my favorite on-screen Batmobile, although I think it's perfect for the movie it's in. But as a toy, this is, I want to say this might be McFarlane's best. And it's a 2-seater. You actually get 2 people, but since it's a 2-seater, this thing is huge. But, oh, it's so great. So great. So happy I picked this one up. $200. No, I was just speaking to the mic. $200, that is bananas. Yo, I almost got another one. I might get another one. Just so you can, because like, I like him posed as Clark Kent. But then there is something about seeing him tear his shirt open and being in the pose. So having 2 would be great, but right now it's probably expensive. It already was pricey. So you're trying to get one, Austin C, a Tumblr? I don't know if you do some customizing. You can always get the camouflage one in paint, because the camouflage one I feel like is on sale last time I saw it on Amazon. So you can always do that if you want to customize. Top 3 things I'm looking forward to in 2026. I'm looking forward to Avengers Doomsday. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man Brand New Day for sure. And I'm looking forward to Grand Theft Auto 6, if it even comes out in 2026. Those are the top 3 things I'm looking forward to. Honorable mention, Supergirl. Honorable mention, The Boys. But those are my top 3 things I'm looking forward to. Austin C., what are the top 3 things you're looking forward to in 2026? Content-wise. Let me know. And then I'm getting out of here. Then I'm going to go watch some Fallout. Eat some candy. It's my cheat day. Austin C., what you got, man? Your top 3 things you're looking forward to in 2026. Let me know. Let me know. In the meantime, put together this Batmobile. So it comes with these fins. And it has a light up feature. Now I was looking at the Batman Forever one, but like I was waiting for these things to go on sale, to be honest with you. Because I like them, but I don't like them that much. And for some strange reason, as much as I didn't care for Batman or Robin, I actually have all the toys, the whole wave. I don't even know how that happened. So it made much more sense to get this. And I think this is just a nicer toyetic figure, or Batmobile, I should say. But I think we had a good year as collectors, man. Whether you collect Marvel Legends or McFarlane or Mayfex, Figure Arts. It's been a great year to be a collector, and even probably better year to be a Batman fan because there's so much Batman stuff. Uh, and this does light up, I believe. I should look at the directions. Yeah, need some batteries though. Pretty dope. Pretty freaking dope. It's long. Wolverine game in our Batman Arkham Knight figure. Hot Toys Batman Returns figure. I still don't have it yet. Okay. Wolverine game. Man, I've been burned by Marvel in these video games that's come out lately, so I need to wait and see. I need to really see that game. And burned by DC. I was so excited for that Suicide versus Justice League end. Womp womp. So I need to see much more gameplay before I follow down that road. But if it's what we're hoping it is, absolutely. But I've been waiting for a Grand Theft Auto game for probably like 10 years. So Grand Theft Auto for games, got to see Avengers Doomsday, and I got to see Spider-Man Brand New Day. I wish NR would make a civilian Bruce Wayne figure. Dude, I wish NR, McFarlane, I wish they would all make a civilian Bruce Wayne figure. I mean, look at this head sculpt, man. Yo, real talk, honestly, if you just want to throw money around, if you picked up the brown suit Muff Toys Clark Kent figure, I think you can do a custom. Because first of all, look how close. Can you see it? Look how close they look. And if you got the brown suit, yeah. Well, if you get the brown suit Clark Kent figure and get a neck peg that can sit a little higher, you can get a Bruce Wayne. Brown suited Clark Kent Muff Toys figure could definitely be your Bruce Wayne. If you use this head sculpt. That's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. But Austin C, man, it's always great talking to you. I'm gonna get out of here. Riley, thank you for jumping in. Nice to meet you. Rowdy Riles, nice to meet you. I have the brown version. The skin tone doesn't match. Does the skin tone match is the question? Yes. Almost perfect. Honestly, this head sculpt, you have this head sculpt. They almost look like the same head. The light is making it look different. But yes, the skin tone matches ridiculously well. But yo, yeah. So have a wonderful New Year, guys. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, Chris is here. We're gonna talk it up, talk some shop, get his opinion on Stranger Things and more stuff. And Austin C, watch Stranger Things start tonight. And I'll be back, man. Same bad time, same bad channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Peace.